Welcome to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with my co-hosts,
Stan Morancini.
Ooh, Watson Bradshaw.
and I'm inconveniently Chad Cook.
Conveniently this time.
Yeah, let's switch it up.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. And so, today we have YouTuber, voiceover actress, cosplayer, Anna Brisbin, also known as Brizzy Voices. She's the voice of Viola on Bayonetta 3. Einherjar on God of War Ragnarok. I probably messed that name up, but it's all right. She's done work on the big and small screen, has a successful YouTube channel with over 2 million subscribers, where she does voice impersonations as well as cosplay and YouTube tutorials, and has done videos on the history of voiceover work, which is a great video. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Anna.
Thank you.
Brizzy Voices.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we just wanted to have you on because it's I've especially followed your career for a while. I've watched your videos back when you were in the early YouTube days, and we've been fascinated with some of your work, and especially your voiceover work, which is excellent. And so we just wanted to have you on and just discuss your YouTube career, your voiceover work, and just the general nerdy stuff that we talk about on the show.
I love nerdy stuff.
Outstanding. Well, you came to the right place.
Yes.
Yeah. I can tell by looking around.
Yes, yeah. My house is a shrine to nerd. So it probably explains a lot. So, your YouTube career, that's originally where your I guess your overall career was launched.
Yeah.
On YouTube and with your YouTube channel Brizzy Voices.
Yeah.
When you first set that up, is that when you first set up your YouTube channel, did you expect it to become what it is now, which is over 2 million subscribers?
No, I did not expect it to become a job.
Yeah.
Being a YouTuber was a job in 2012, but it was barely a job, I think. I really just wanted like a portfolio to like put up impressions and like auditions and stuff to represent, like, here's the voices I can do. Do you want me to act in your fan dub or something? Yeah. So that was the plan. And then I did a bunch of like Pokemon voices, but that wasn't the one that went viral. I did one with like 40 voices or something. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, what if I just did them all? Like, what if I just tried them all? Even if they're not good, like, it could just be a fun thing. And then that blew up. So then it all became its own thing.
This was the voice of the original Pokemon one?
Yeah.
Which has, I think, like 27 million views right now.
Yeah, something like that.
So I wanted to ask you about that specifically. So when you put it out, how quickly did it start blowing up?
Oh, very quickly.
Yeah,
like within the day or so, I think. I don't know how long I think the first 1 million views was probably after like 3 weeks or something like that.
Oh, sorry. Was there any panic or excitement as it was?
No,
as the numbers were rising,
just not panic.
Well, I mean, just
but definitely excitement. Yeah. Just like staring at it, just seeing the comments continuing to go through. Like anytime you refresh, being like, "That's still growing." When people had, and at first, the first big fluge of comments were in Spanish because it went viral on notengotele.com, which is like Spanish 9gag or Chilean 9gag technically. So, but
was there a reason for that?
I don't know. Someone posted it and it blew up there. So
Pokemon universal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Pokemon transcends language.
Yeah.
It's just the intro and the outro where I'm speaking English, really. So I think that's a big part of why it went so viral, is because any language can watch the majority of it, and Pokemon mostly sound the same.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah. Was there a moment when you realized like this is much bigger than I originally like? Aside from the 1 million views, but when you felt like, oh my God, this is growing. Was there a moment? Like it was
not like a specific this moment, but it was really just that one blowing up.
Yeah.
Just watching it keeping going. And I think probably once it hit 1 million, I was like, oh, this is real. Because like as it was growing, I was like, if it hits 1 million, that'll be crazy. And then it did. So maybe that.
So on YouTube itself, once you realized that it was bigger and then you had an actual audience built in, is that when you're like, I'm going to dedicate my time to YouTube?
Yeah, I was still in college at the time. But my last semester, I only had a few credits to finish off. So I was able to focus on it a lot more then. But yeah, I tried to focus on it as much as I could. I knew I wanted to get more into voiceover, but that really like cemented it. I'd done like a little bit of voiceover in college, but I was like, oh, I'll do this too. That's fun. But then when it blew up on YouTube, I was like, oh, okay, like forget on camera. Like I'm just going to focus on this, put all my energy into that. 'Cause on camera, auditioning and stuff takes so much time and effort and soul suckingness. So I was like, okay, if I don't have to do that, I'll just focus on this. I will.
And so with the voiceover work, is that something that you always wanted to do?
No, I didn't even realize it was a thing, even though I grew up almost exclusively watching cartoons until I was like in double digits.
No, we still do, and we're
we're
past that.
Yeah.
But you do also watch live action. That was the thing.
Yeah, sure.
I refused as a child. Even like Mary Poppins, which was like a hybrid, I was like, no, live action, real people. What's the point? Boring.
Yeah.
So no, I just wanted to be on camera. Film and TV, and I just didn't really even think about it until college when like film students needed voice actors. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. I don't have to memorize anything. I don't have to worry about what my face looks like. I'd had like multiple acting teachers like tell me like, relax your face, like stop making faces. I'm like, I'm not trying to make faces. It just happens. And voiceover, I don't have to worry about it. It's amazing.
Go ahead.
Did you focus on drama in school, or was it?
Yeah, it was a theater drama major.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So you set out specifically to be an actor? Oh, awesome. Yeah. And so when you started picking up, did the voiceover work pick up more so after that specific?
100%. I never worked in voiceover at all before starting this YouTube channel, just like the student projects.
Were they reaching out to you at that point?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I think my first voiceover jobs were technically people cold emailing me, being like, hey, do you want to be in this dinky little animated film thing I'm doing? I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Was there a specific, once the job started rolling in, were you looking for something specifically in terms of like jobs? Was it like animation?
I mean, the dream has always been animation for like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney sort of stuff. Like those big three have always been the goal, and I've still not done that. I've broken into video games to some extent and like sort of like increasing momentum there, but I'm still not working that frequently. So it started picking up, and then I had to join SAG-AFTRA. Once you do like 2 or 3 jobs, they're like, okay, you have to join now, and then I have to stop doing non-union jobs. So like I wasn't able to do all those little jobs anymore that I kind of started out with. And
so on YouTube, so that became more of a regular career in terms of just bringing in income, I suppose, and audiences. Is there, when did you realize you could make that more of a living? Was there
pretty much immediately, because I luckily like signed up for the partner program or whatever pretty quickly. So I didn't I made a good amount of money off of just the Pokemon video, but I also was uploading like 2 to 4 times a month for a very long time. And so and YouTube is very good if you are still making views on old videos. Like it's good passive income because it's still up and people are still watching it. So you're still getting AdSense. At least it used to be better about that. Now like AdSense is not as good as it used to be unless you're in like the preferred program or whatever it is. But yeah, and then eventually start getting like brand deals and stuff, and that really is the majority of your income when you're a YouTuber, is brand deals, sponsorships.
How do your ideas for YouTube come? Is it was it spontaneous,
or a lot of comment suggestions? In the beginning, it was like, oh, I just need to do everything that I love. I need to do every movie and video game and TV show and that I love, and there's all these categories that I've never done, and now I've been doing it for 11 years, and I'm like, oh, I've done every category. So now I upload less often because I don't have all these things. I've already done them all.
Yeah.
But I still take suggestions, and if something new comes out that I'm like, oh, amazing, this has awesome voices in it, like I'll do impressions of that. Or if I think of a cool like cosplay or something, I will do that. But it's less frequent now.
Do you have a favorite type of video you put out among all the impressions, cosplay ones, and tips and song covers and the like?
I don't know. Favorite type? I do love just picking like a TV show and just doing a bunch of impressions of the main characters from that. But I did this one video as recommended by my best friend Tessa. There was like cartoons through like 100 years of cartoon voices.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That's great.
That might be one of my favorite videos that I've ever made, because it like got me into looking into the history of voiceover, like you mentioned, which is what inspired. I made like a kind of 3-part semi-documentary on the history of voiceover.
It was a great series. I watched the entire thing.
Thanks, because I was like looking at like where was the first cartoon voices, and like there was such little info that was easily accessible for like 100+ years ago. But for the 100 years of cartoon voices, I did like costumes for each era, and it like felt like such a good like homage to where cartoons and cartoon voices specifically started, and like how they've evolved and the style of acting has evolved, and where it is now, and like how genres have shifted and stuff. It's fascinating.
So that video, every time you go into a different pretty much a different decade, you change your costume out.
Yeah.
So trying to like fit to that time. How long did that video take? Because it looked like it's a lot of work, because you're also doing the makeup as well, it seemed. Yeah. So how long did that
hair
video?
And makeup for
I think
each
it's
one,
maybe 15 minutes, that video, I think.
I have
10
no
minutes?
idea, honestly.
How long, I think it's like 10 maybe. How long did that a 10-minute video take to actually like complete? Because it seems like it's a lot of work.
I don't know.
Editing and costume changes.
Filming wise, maybe 2 different days, maybe 3, but probably just 2 if I really dedicated the days to it. Editing definitely takes forever.
Yeah, right. Because you also did a D&D video. Well, you did a couple D&D videos, but the ones where you meet my D&D characters.
I love that. Yeah,
that's so great. My favorite one is the well, she's not a kid. She's wearing like I forgot her name, but she's wearing like a dragon costume, and
she's a halfling.
She has like a halfling, and she has like a
one.
demon inside of her.
Yeah,
and she's like chaotic bad, I think.
Yeah, she's chaotic.
How long? But you do a costume change for every single one of those, and that costume and that makeup looks very complicated, especially for the one who's an elf. That looked very complicated. How long did that video take, do you think? Or do you remember?
Less long, definitely.
Yeah.
There weren't as many for that.
Yeah.
There was maybe 4 or 5 in that video, or so. I don't even remember at that point. Not as long, for sure. But
is that something where you have the cosplay already and then do the video? Or is it like chicken versus and the egg kind of thing? Or is it?
It's a mix. A lot of them I already had the pieces, and I kind of like closet cosplayed it. Actually, I think for all of those, I think I had anything in my closet that I could make work. Oh, just kidding. There was like one lizard folk, so I ordered like a lizard mask.
The head of it, yeah.
So, and like some bone accessories and stuff.
I would be surprised if you just had that in your closet.
Yeah, it did not just happen to have that. No, but most of it I just happen to have. I like Ren Fair and stuff, so I have a lot of Renaissance type clothing.
Cool. How long does your makeup usually take for some of your more complicated characters? Because it looks very complicated.
If it is a real complicated one, maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
But usually it's not that complicated.
Yeah. So do you put it on, film what you have to film, and then take them off immediately? Pretty much? Yeah.
No, it depends. Sometimes I stream on Twitch too, so sometimes if I'm like, my hair and makeup look really cool, and I finished early, now I can just stream and I'm all ready and cool looking and ready to go.
Go to Chipotle.
Sure. Yeah, as an elf, why not?
Around.
Right. You brought up a good point about YouTube, and I saw a video you posted about COPPA, COPPA. Yeah, and can I ask you about that video specifically? Is it because I know that some YouTubers ran into I guess it's related to the same thing, the adpocalypse. Was that the same thing?
It's related. They
Yeah.
kind of happened close together.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse, I think, was probably about a year or so before. They're similar situations, but technically different.
Yeah. Can you explain what the COPPA was about? I know you have a whole video on it.
COPPA, thankfully, I thought would be a huge issue and has not ultimately turned into one.
Right.
I think they were more threatening in the language than they ended up being in enforcing things. But COPPA is like Child something protection, privacy protection act.
Yeah.
So basically it's like you're not allowed to advertise to children unless you're under severe restrictions. So I was really scared because I'm doing all these cartoons that could be interpreted as videos for children.
Appealing to kids is what the language was, right?
But I'm like, no, I'm making this for adults. Like the majority of my demographics is teenagers or in their 20s. So if I made a video on like Miraculous Ladybug. What's something else? I don't know what else.
There was stuff in there about toys. If you talk about toys,
if you
talk
toy
about
reviews and stuff like that.
music.
So if I do a video of a show that is a current show that is absolutely for children, you have to, when you upload a video, mark it as made for kids or not made for kids. So I don't count it as made for kids if it's just like Nickelodeon voices or Disney voices that we grew up on. Like that's for everybody. But if it is like a show that came out within the last 5 years or so that is actually for children, then I will mark it as that. And that means that like advertisement is severely restricted if not taken off, and like no comments are allowed. So that hurts it in the algorithm and is no good.
Yeah.
But thankfully I don't have to do that for most of my stuff.
So did it end up, and you said it didn't end up being as much of a problem as you thought.
Yeah.
What did, so they just kind of backed off on the because in the video it sounds very serious.
Yeah, it was very like if you break basically if you don't say that something is for children and it is, you could be fined up to like $25,000 or something, and it's like what counts as for children? Just appropriate for children? Just the fact that it's animated? This is the fact that it's on a family channel? Like if it's a preschool show, I get it, but if it's just like, I don't know, Pokemon, like it could be anybody.
Well, I'm glad I didn't know what the current situation was because I don't know anything about YouTube, so I'm glad that it worked itself out, I suppose.
Well enough, I guess. It's still I still get annoyed when I'm looking up videos of cartoon shows or like any Nickelodeon thing or Disney thing that's uploaded. I'm like, oh, I want to read the comments, and the comments are disabled because it's marked as for kids. I'm like,
So, I mean, did it end up affecting you in any way at all, or fellow YouTubers?
So. Just the couple videos that I have cautiously marked as for kids, just in case. Just those videos, I think, probably didn't do super well, but it's not.
But you didn't get demonetized or anything like that.
Not as a channel, just maybe a couple of those videos.
Okay.
Like gaming on YouTube would.
I don't know.
Like, because it's both.
That's
our
true.
age and younger.
Good,
so, I don't know.
I don't know how gaming works. Maybe
a lot of gray.
A Nick Jr. video game.
Yeah. And Twitch is another thing you're on.
Yeah.
And how's that? How have you been enjoying that? How did you get into that?
Oh man, well, way back in the day when I started on YouTube, I started live streaming on YouNow, and I don't even know if they do that anymore.
I don't think it's around anymore.
I had like a deal with, they like paid me to stream once a week or something there. And then eventually at one point I wanted to like watch the first Pokemon movie with fans. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. And it was like 2013 or something. So I'm like, I'm going to stream. And people were like, you can live stream on twitch.tv. I'm like, okay. So I live streamed on twitch.tv, and they were like, this is only video games. And they like auto shifted my stream over to justin.tv. And I don't know if any of you guys have heard of that. It's like, it's an old like precursor to Twitch, basically, of like people live streaming their lives or whatever. So I was moved over there because I was not playing a video game, and Twitch was very strictly only video games back then. And then eventually by like 2014, I properly got a PC and wasn't playing League of Legends on a trackpad. So I like started streaming on Twitch and have took like big breaks as I like focused more on YouTube and other things. But especially in 2020, like pandemic, I was like, it was such a good way to like still connect with people and like just find community and something way less pressure, it feels like, than doing a YouTube video. Because I feel like in YouTube, like I'm kind of performing because I'm like putting on voices and like putting on the happy YouTuber thing. But like Twitch, I'm just chilling. I'm like playing a video game, talking to you guys, and just chilling. So it feels way less pressure, and I don't have to be like creative about it. I don't have to come up with an idea. I just have to exist and experience this game. It's fun.
Is there a specific game that you focus on Twitch?
No, I shift around. Yeah, whatever is coming up and whatever is interesting. Really, since 2020, I have been trying to get through a lot of the like really good classic AAA stuff that I never played. I never played Mass Effect. I never played BioShock. The Last of Us, God of War. I finally got into when I booked a job on God of War Ragnarok. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this. I did not tell chat that I was playing it for research, but eventually they found out when the role was announced. But then I got very addicted to that. It's so good. I love God of War, and like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I really like these big AAA story games. Anything with like super good motion capture, I'm like, ooh, yes. And I love decision-based games, Detroit Become Human, like Telltale games. Right now, Baldur's Gate 3 has my heart.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
It's everything I've ever wanted. Also love Breath of the Wild and like Tears of the Kingdom. I was in Tears of the Kingdom for so long. Yeah, right now I'm playing Immortals of Avium, and I love it because it's magic. I struggle because it's a first-person shooter, but it's fine, and the story and graphics and characters are amazing, and I have a little voice in it, so we were having fun
That's great.
Nice.
talking to my girl, and yeah, so I'm in that right now, but as soon as that's over, I'm going straight back to Baldur's Gate because, yeah.
So, go ahead.
Has Baldur's Gate inspired any, like, I know you Dungeon Master. Has it inspired any, like, ideas for you
good question.
Down the road?
If I were a creative Dungeon Master, probably. I'm really not. I like DMing from a module, from a book.
Yeah.
I like having the story given to me and then just tweaking it to my liking. I don't like coming up with stories by myself. So I don't know. It definitely gives me ideas for rules because there are like a couple of different rules in the game versus D&D that I really like high ground. If you have the high ground, you get advantage on range attacks and vice versa. And I love that. I love that you can like throw a health potion at somebody and it works. There's lots of little things I'm like, yeah, I like that. I would play like that. It's cool.
Is D&D something you were playing way before you got into like the YouTube community?
No, I wish. It was never introduced to me at all until like 2018.
Oh wow!
I really didn't know anything about it till 2018.
And what'd you do when you first came? Who was your first character?
My first character was Akile Tuono. Nice. He was a human fighter, and we just played Mines of Phandelver. Really just a few sessions, so we technically didn't finish it. And the same time, I was on a live stream called Dark and Dicey, where I played Trixa, that possessed halfling barbarian. Sure. Yeah, so those happened. They were overlapped at the same time. Those were my first games.
Yeah, one of our episodes was a very long D&D that we had to cut into 3 parts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it was 5 hours, 6 hours that we played.
Close
like
to
that.
it.
Yeah, and it was just a mess. we got our asses kicked. We made bad decision after bad decision. Our friend Tim, who's
amazing.
Who's pretty much a professional DM.
Yeah.
He's really good. So he kept throwing challenges at us, and we just kept failing. And
puzzles.
He was like, these are really easy, bottom level puzzles.
Yeah.
Like,
3 hours later, we're still on the same puzzle, and we're just like smash. We're just trying to like brute force it.
Yeah.
It was a mess. Yeah. It was pretty bad. And there was a lot of arguing at one point.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying right now to put together a Wizard of Oz themed game
Oh,
for our
that's
mutual friend
awesome.
Tiffany.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure that out because I have a book setting for Oz by Andrew Kolb, and it's amazing and wonderful. It doesn't have the story in it, so I have to make up the story. I have all these characters, all these places in the world, but I don't have like a plot, a mission, like something to give the characters to do. So I have to figure that out.
And what's your favorite character to play? Is it?
I love a druid.
Yeah.
I love druids and clerics. I feel like their magic is really versatile.
Right. Yes, it is. We had a druid. Watson was our druid.
Yeah.
And
I love
he
it.
saved us many times. Many times, yeah. Because I was
someone had to be level-headed. You just kept going to hack and slash. So.
I was just the dumb barbarian, YOLO, smash, It wasn't working. It wasn't working.
And I was just blind because, that's what happened.
What?
He ended up getting blinded.
Yeah, there was an enemy that if you look at its eye,
it was
it
a heme.
projects lights,
Uh-huh.
and then it just blinds you. And so I'm just, all right, guys, where should I
So we stuck him in the doorway to block
I was like,
incoming
okay,
characters.
He had some of the luckiest save throws though
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
What were you playing though?
I was
Dragonborn.
Dragonborn, yeah. Dragonborn.
What class? Because we had druid, barbarian.
I think
You
it
were a
was
thief,
just
weren't you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
a
rogue.
rogue. And
Nice.
Rogue,
he was
yeah.
called Pockets.
Pocket, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have Dan in the Wizard of Oz game,
Yes, I do.
he may decide to just, we could just leave because
Yeah, we
he
could just
tried to
leave.
do that
Yeah.
in our game. So
He was
Yeah.
he was making a lot of interesting plays.
Chaotic choices.
Oh my god.
Yeah, very chaotic.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Like we hadn't gotten any of our objectives. We just found our way back at the start, and he's like, "Let's just leave."
yeah.
He also
like, no, dude.
sacrificed some people of our group as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Very
he
much
pushed
so.
the guy.
Very
Yeah,
much so.
that was-
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
let's
threw
go
a-
set off that
yeah.
trap.
He threw a dwarf down a well and killed him.
Oh my god, damn.
Yeah.
And I was like, he might have the key we need.
Yeah.
In his
Oh,
pocket.
and now it's in the
It's
world.
just
Yeah.
Dan's true colors coming.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
Throwing the little guy always.
D&D brings everybody's true colors out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is there? And you said that you like clerics. Is
Yeah, clerics, druids.
is there a specific reason because of the magic or?
With clerics, I love all the different themes, death clerics and grave clerics. I love death and grave clerics. Druids, I love the versatility of wild shaping and being a tank basically, and having that giant spell list and all these spell slots to work with. And you can be super support as druid as well. They've got so much healing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah, he healed me twice.
Yeah.
Because I just kept running in and be like, whatever, what's here? I'm just gonna
to,
kill it.
yeah.
That
I
didn't
think
work.
I feel I like being a healer because then I feel like I know that someone will heal if something goes bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't trust anyone else to be the sole healer because I'm like I will know if someone needs healing. I will protect.
Do you have a memorable Nat 20 you've ever rolled? Or no?
Really, they all blur together. This is so funny. I don't know.
I don't have any because I never rolled any. It was all nat 2s. I was like, oh, this is not good.
I think we got some really good rolls, but it was always on things that didn't need a
Didn't
good
need-
roll.
yeah.
It was
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what
Walk
it
into the
usually
hall
is.
at 20. Yes.
Exactly.
Should I eat some cheese or some bread?
Right,
20.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, it was
Wasted
pretty bad.
that sweet roll.
On God of War, you can talk about video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on God of War, how did you end up getting that gig? How did that end?
Well,
And
I
Bayonetta.
just got the audition through my agent, but it was funny because the audition was all in Old Norse. They
Really?
had sound guide, pronunciation guides, spelling out the syllables and stuff.
Like phonetically.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
But I had just been studying High Valyrian from Game of Thrones.
That's awesome.
And it kind of reminded
just
me
the
of that.
kicks.
Yeah.
I made a video on it, teaching
amazing.
Valyrian. So I've been studying it on Duolingo and stuff. So I didn't know what language it was. It didn't say. I didn't know it was God of War. It was under a code name. So I just imagined that it was Valyrian and read it as if it was that, and it worked.
Oh, so you had to record and send it to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I
Oh.
And they just
recorded
like
it
the
in my
way you-
closet. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so when you got you mentioned motion capture earlier? Did you get to?
I've
do it?
never worn the suit.
Oh,
No.
okay, yeah.
Not
I
yet.
want to
Not
so
yet.
bad.
Not yet,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've done several training classes on motion capture classes because I want to do it so bad. This Immortals of Avium game, I actually did book as motion capture. Like I did
nice.
it as a self-tape, and that I never do self-tapes. It's very rare. But sometimes it's like a motion capture thing, and you're supposed to record it as a tape. And I booked it, and I was so excited. First motion capture thing. But then it was COVID, and they were like, sorry, just kidding. We're going to get 3 stunt people to do all of the motion capture rather than bringing in all the actors. But I did facial capture stuff, so they put a camera on your face with dots. So I did that. But
that's cool.
I've never worn the suit.
And how did Bayonetta 3 come along?
Same thing, auditioning through my agent. Less exciting because there was no like crazy language thing happening there.
And so is that do you want to continue in video games or
I always thought animation was like the only thing I really wanted to do, and it is still like the dream. Like I really want to do it, but the more and more I do video games, and like the more they come out, and I'm like, oh, this game is so cool! I can't believe I'm in this. The more I'm like, okay, yeah, this is great. I could definitely do this forever and be happy. But animation definitely pays more for how much work it is, and animation has residuals usually. Video games never have residuals, so once you do it, like you're paid and you're done. But I love doing video games, and I've been playing way more video games basically the past 3 years, so been way more excited about the prospect of that and the experience of that.
And were you a gamer prior to coming out here?
Yeah, less frequently, but I was a Nintendo girl.
Nice. What was your favorite game?
Really just a lot of Pokemon. Like Pokemon Crystal was probably the big one. It's like Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah.
Is there like a dream video game you'd like to be part of? You could just like any role in a video game. What would it be?
It would be probably something in the Last of Us series.
Ooh, okay.
I know.
And
we're big fans over here.
Yeah, we're fans.
Yeah, same.
Did you watch the HBO show?
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
I know, but it sucks. But that's and is any kind of cartoon that you'd love to be a part of, like any dream role that's out there?
Pokemon has been the dream because it feels like so full circle. With like over 10 years ago, like this career basically started with Pokemon voices. So I would really love to voice an actual Pokemon. Like I'd love to voice a person too, but I would love to have a Pokemon.
I want one line of dialogue. It's just my name over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can do it a million different ways.
Honestly, I've never done anime, so I feel like I would feel very comfy going into being a Pokemon creature rather than like
I was gonna say
a human with lines of dialogue. I'd be like, oh no, what if I mess it up? Like I'm sure I could do it, but I'd be way less nervous if I was just like, oh, I just have to do the little Pokemon noise.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Well, they just retired Ash, right? The Ash character just got his send off.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, there's an opening for a new lead.
They just announced the new cast for the new series. I am not done it yet.
Yet, exactly. Go ahead.
Do you have of the characters you've voiced so far? Do you have a favorite that you got to do, or
Viola from Bayonetta? Probably just because it's my biggest role by far. I think it was 4 days of recording. Wow. She's like the first lines in the game and the last lines. Like she was throughout the whole game.
Was it a big? I understand sometimes it's like.
The amount of dialogue.
A lot of dialogue and sound effects and stuff. Was it like a big book that you had to flip through for?
It was all on a screen.
Oh, it was all on. Okay.
They have a monitor up there, and they just scroll through it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all future now.
It's no more paper stuff.
How long is each session normally?
Usually 4 hours.
4 hours.
Oh, wow.
With a break every hour or so.
And that's not part of SAG,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It is.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Wow. Okay. And so, going back to Pokemon, was that you were a fan of it as a kid too?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like a Saturday, every morning before school cereal, Pokemon sort of thing.
And you used to play the card game as well?
I collected them. I never played. I never understood
no one
the
knows
game.
How
no one knows how to play the game.
I don't get it. I still have my binder.
It's like Magic the Gathering.
Cards.
No one knows that shit.
Right.
No, they just play it.
Magic I kind of understand if I have someone there to answer my questions along the way. But Pokemon cards I still don't understand.
Are you gonna get? Was that the Jake Paul has around his neck? That Pokemon card?
Oh, the
my
charge.
God.
Yeah.
Holographic Charizard.
Yeah.
I'm mad I never got one. Because if I had gotten one,
You'd be wearing
I
it around
would
your
still
neck.
have it.
Yeah.
I still have my binder, but I went through my binder of cards from like 20 years ago, and
You're
I
like,
don't think
"Let
there
me
was
just
anything.
check if
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a millionaire."
Just in case.
I don't
yeah.
think there was anything first edition rare or anything. So what?
And the condition I've got to be in, it's
It's
so
gotta be perfect.
insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gotta be
When you
perfect.
see like how they grade those things, like based by the
Mhm.
millimeter
Yeah.
where like the border is and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
My
crazy.
second edition Princess Diana Beanie Baby. There's nothing, you know.
Yeah, I still also have.
Just cry
A
on your
ton
pile
of
of Beanie
Beanie
Babies.
Really?
Yeah.
I still have my Marvel collectible cards from the 90s.
Oh,
Oh,
very
the
nice.
Topps cards?
Yeah,
I
and
have
I
those
had
too.
tons of those, like
Yeah.
binders of them from when I was a kid.
Still have the gum.
And
Okay.
I wish. And I went through them like, oh, that's it. I'm gonna cash in. Here we go. It's probably like $5. And it's all like 5 binders that I have.
I'll bring
It's
my
just
folder and
fucking
we can trade.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Do
We
some
need
trades.
like
Yeah, that's right,
streamers to get into it because that's what happened with Pokemon, right? It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
streamers
It's
started.
the
opening him or
exhilaration
whatever.
of just
Yeah.
opening them up. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
Oh, I always say it's Articuno, Suicune, and the Evolutions.
Yes.
If I had to choose one, I guess I'd say Articuno, but I really love the others too.
Who's your starter Pokemon?
Ooh.
It varies, but typically Charmander.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I watched your history of voiceover video.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about that?
Yeah.
And so how the research in it was really well done. I learned a lot
you.
from it. What kind of inspired you to get in to make that video?
It was definitely that 100 years of cartoon voices video because I was looking at what cartoons existed in the 20s.
Right.
And it was like, I watched Steamboat Willie is kind of what inspired it. Because there's this parrot in Steamboat Willie who laughs and says some stuff at
I can't understand them.
yeah, and you can't understand.
Yeah.
And that fascinated me, and I was like, "Who's playing this parrot?" And I just really rabbit hole down into Steamboat Willie lore and stuff. And it was just, and I was like, "Okay, so is this?" People were saying that this is the first voiced cartoon or whatever, but it's not. There's technically others. And so I was like, there's all these misconceptions. So I couldn't. It was so hard to research and find information on it that I was like, I feel like there needs to be a more put together expansive history of voiceover video on YouTube because it didn't seem to exist. I couldn't find it.
And what kind of research where did you pull a lot of your information for the research? Was it
It was a lot of just researching a lot of side things, and they were all in different places. A lot of Wikipedia, but I double check the source from Wikipedia and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There is one article I think that I found that was about a history of voiceover that kind of broke down some decades and was very helpful to reference and know where to go from there. You're talking about this, now I can go look into Thomas Edison and stuff.
Yeah. Always a villain, Thomas Edison, in your video. Yeah. But in that video, I learned that I didn't know this, that originally voiceover artists weren't even credited for their work.
Yeah.
It was just
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Like
which
Snow
is-
White.
yeah,
Not credited.
which is that I didn't know about that either. That she was I had no idea that Walt Disney, the original voice of Snow White.
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the allure of
Yeah.
They wanted
Yeah.
nobody. There's no voice behind her. It's
Snow
Snow White, the
White,
cartoon.
yeah.
Isn't the urban
Yeah.
legend she was paid through the rest of her life, by what Disney?
I don't-
She was
That's probably an urban
not
legend.
to do anything else.
Well, no, he apparently
Yeah.
he kept her from working anywhere else.
Yeah.
Really?
Because he didn't
Somehow.
want people to know that there's a person behind the voice,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
everybody was like, "Gee, I don't think very many people knew oh, I think it's just a cartoon. It's not an actual person.
Yeah.
I don't think people thought that.
Did she have to sign an NDA like not to tell anyone?
Well,
No.
it was a 30s, so it's
Yeah.
probably like we'll just break your legs.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Walt
Yeah.
Disney's just cracking
Yeah.
on his knuckles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I mean, and I didn't know that Mel Blanc was one of the first that was actually, and that was a huge step for
Yeah.
voiceover artists. And of course, because Mel Blanc was so huge, he's voiced Bugs Bunny and Daffy
Man
Duck.
of a Thousand
Porky Pig.
Voices.
Man of a Thousand Voices, yeah. I didn't know that. What were some of were there like a lot of shocking, like, I guess, tidbits that you found researching this? Like,
Yeah.
did you know about Snow White and Mel Blanc and voiceover artists not being credited?
I can't remember.
Oh, that's me. My bad.
I can't remember, to be honest, if I did or not. I feel like that's something that I probably did hear in passing, sort of thing. Like, it sounds familiar, sort
Yeah.
of thing, but nothing that I had like had concrete in my brain and like sourced and like confirmed
right.
stuff.
I didn't know about the history of Betty Boop and Baby Esther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
same.
That's fascinating. Can you tell us about Baby Esther and
Yeah,
Betty Boop?
I'll try.
Yeah,
Remember.
synopsis. Yeah.
But basically, Betty Boop was inspired by this teen girl singer and dancer, young black girl named Baby Esther. And it was very clearly her, but like a white version and not credited anyway. And did they take them to court?
Apparently, so the voice of Betty Boop at the time said that I guess that she was being ripped off because like that's my voice. I've created Betty Boop, and then the studio used Baby Esther. Was like, no, you ripped off Baby Esther.
Yeah.
And the court agreed with the studio and said, no, it's Baby Esther.
Right.
Jeez.
Which is
I don't know. They got like a new Betty Boop voice or something, and like
Right.
the old Betty Boop voice was like, "You can't say you're Betty Boop. I'm Betty Boop."
right.
And people were like, "No, Baby Esther's
Yeah.
Betty Boop."
And the court agreed with her. This is like 1920s. Something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the court actually agreed. Like, no, this.
Yeah, they were like some like manager or something was like, "I had lunch with you or I had dinner with you the evening you saw Baby Esther perform. So like you picked up your mannerisms
yeah.
in your singing
wow.
performances from her. Like that was before you did Betty Boop. Like shortly before you did Betty Boop, I was there when you watched Baby Esther. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And then like she like disappeared, Baby Esther. Like nobody knows what happened to her. Which is that to me was like
She like went to
Whoa.
Paris on a job or something, and like then we don't know.
yeah. And when she was like 15 or something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like even her Wikipedia page, because I looked it up today, says unknown, date of death unknown. She just vanished.
dot.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just, which is like it's sad, It's like
She never got
here's-
any like compensation or real
Nothing.
recognition while she was alive.
right, and I'm sure she never even knew about it,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tragic, but that video was very informative. So yeah, it was really well researched. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm way more articulate in the video, I promise.
yeah. And so you started also started doing makeup tutorials on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What did people ask you to do that, or did you just decided to start doing that on your own?
I don't think they did actually, and I was very nervous to do it because I had very strictly only been doing voice impressions. But I really liked cosplaying. I liked cosplaying and going to conventions and stuff. And I was cosplaying as characters that I liked doing voices for. So I was like, maybe I can like kind of baby step my way in by doing makeup tutorial for this fun makeup look, but narrate it as the character. And it's like, hey guys, I'm still doing voices. I promise. Please don't unsubscribe.
That's great. That's very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
What was your first cosplay that you ever went out to a con as?
My first San Diego Comic-Con, I did Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas,
Nice.
and
That's
I
awesome.
did a like Audrey Hepburn, Holly Golightly version of Harley Quinn.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite character that you like cosplaying as?
I don't know. I really like doing Bayonetta now because I'm like,
That one's
she's
great.
my mom. And I just did Yennefer from Witcher 3, and that was really fun. Yeah, I love having purple eyes. So
Remember you did a Wonder Woman one as well, right?
Yeah.
That
That looked really good.
Yeah, that was really
I
great.
have really loved doing Wonder Woman. That armor is on its last leg. I don't know if I can
Oh,
wear it
really?
again. It's like
Did you make that armor?
no, someone
Oh,
on
okay.
Etsy did.
Yeah.
But I've just worn it like one too many times, and like the Velcro is failing. It's, yeah.
Do you make your own costumes? Like, do you
like,
sew or
No, I can hand stitch
Uh-huh.
little things if I need to, but I can't make a whole garment.
Uh-huh.
I can like add something onto something, but for the most part, no.
Where do you get the majority of your costumes from?
A lot of mix and match of like Etsy and just online shopping of clothing articles and mixing
Yeah.
it together. But if it is something really specific, like Yennefer or Wonder Woman, where like you're not gonna find a Wonder Woman suit that is not Party City quality outside of like Etsy,
Yeah.
then Etsy typically.
What's been your most complicated cosplay? Because it looks like you have some real ones that are really like
intricate.
yeah.
Wonder Woman's probably like the least comfortable, just because it is very like stiff and awkward. But I don't know, complication wise.
Yeah. Is there one that's you don't like wearing very much? Like, oh, I'll never do this again because it's whatever, it's complicated or uncomfortable, or is there one that's been the most trouble?
No, not really. Because like I would do Wonder Woman again, but I'd have to get new. I think I would want to get new armor.
Yeah. And you went to? Did you go to Comic-Con this year? You did?
Yeah.
How was
my
that?
first time
Yeah, I was
back inside. Last year
Yeah.
I went for one day just outside because I still wasn't comfortable with crowds.
Sure.
Have
Have you gone before as a creator, or this was your first time? I'm not sure.
I've probably done some small panel before at Comic-Con, I think. Maybe the year before the pandemic. Nothing big, though. I think I did something small, but I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, but this year I was on the panel that
which I don't know if you
gone to
can you talk
every
about
year.
it, the panel, or
Yeah,
which
so
panel was it?
every year Mark Evanier, who's a casting director and writer, does a Cartoon Voices panel, or two of them, with a bunch of voice actors, and usually it's a bunch of veteran cartoon voice actors.
Yeah.
Maurice LaMarche, Rob Paulson, like, Fred Tatasciore, incredible people. Greta
Mount
Lyle,
Rushmore
Tara
of,
Strong,
yeah.
literally the Mount. Yes, exactly, the Mount Rushmore of voice actors. And then he asked me to be on it, so I was on it. And I felt real weird because I'm like, I've never professionally been in a cartoon. What am I doing here? But I do cartoon voices. They're just not my own yet.
And how was the panel? How did you enjoy it?
Good.
Yeah.
So good. Mark is so nice. He has a blog where he posts about voiceover and stuff, and he reposted my history of voiceover video, and he was like, "You did such a good job." I'm like, "Oh, thank you," because like he knows, he like knew all these like historic voice actors. Like he's worked with like June Foray and all these icons because he's been in the business for, I don't know, 40, 50 years, something like that. So it's really nice to hear from someone who's like lived a lot of the history to be like, you did a good job.
Have you met a voiceover artist that you always wanted to meet before? And
Greta Lyle and Tara Strong have always been like my two role models of like my like female voice actors who like covered the gamut of like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network essentially. And I met them both very early on, and Gray especially has been just like an incredible semi mentor to me, especially like early on. She was like, "I'll introduce you to my agent, like,
That's
come
awesome.
on, blah blah blah." She like brought me to like listen to her auditions one time, like watch her like dub Scooby-Doo for a little bit, like
Wow.
she'd like bring me to coffee and like talk to me about things. She's just so sweet. She did my short film a few years ago. We had I did a live action short film for a YouTube film festival, and we had this villain and we were like, would Gray do it? Because it's kind of like almost Azula-y. Like, we wonder if she would do it. We asked and she said yes. And
Wow.
I
That's
was
awesome.
so sweet. Just for free. Just the kindest woman.
that's awesome. That's great. And can I ask you about this? You also made a video kind of about this. Well, it was part of your video about the celebrity invasion of voice acting.
Oh, yeah, it was a section of the history of voiceover. Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
Is that
sure.
your thoughts on the subject? Because I know that I've heard this before from voice actors that they're upset that celebrities who are normally just film actors that are on film actors
Right.
are now doing a lot of voiceover work, and they're kind of, in the past voiceover work was done by people who were typically not, screen actors necessarily. That was their bread and butter, was voice. Is it? How do you think that? Is it still a big threat? Do you think, or is it?
Yeah, but it's typically just in the big major motion pictures.
Right.
So like, it kind of just is what it is. If you like accept that for the most part, any big Disney movie or whatever is going to be mostly celebrities, like it's fine.
It's still such a wild thing, though. I mean, it's like I was listening to an interview with Danny Elfman. They were talking about Night Before Christmas and how he had to fight because like he did all the recording of all the songs, and Disney was like, "Well, you could do the songs, but we're going to get someone else to do the voice of because you're not an actor."
Yeah,
and he's like, "But I and he recorded everything." It's like, but Disney was same kind of thing. Of like, we need a name, and I don't know. It still seems silly, you know.
Yeah. But Chad got to meet at WonderCon.
Oh yeah, I got to meet Paul Rugg, voice of Freakazoid, and he was in the Animaniacs as the director, kind of like / Jerry Lewis type of character and stuff. And he's very nice. I was messaging him online beforehand for like a year or so, and just got to know him. So when we were there, he immediately was like, "Oh, hey, hi, Chad," and I was like, "That's awesome that he just like called me by name." So it was a very big to meet him, and like Tom Ruger was there, creator, and it was great. It was,
because these are the voices of our childhood.
Right.
Oh yeah, these are the ones that like, it like resonates so hard when you like meet these people and you're like,
Yeah.
Was there a show that had a character that involved, or that made you want to start doing impressions? Like,
Pokemon and like Nickelodeon as a whole. I saw like a bunch of either abridged series or fan dubs of Pokemon, and I think that's really what it was like, because one of the first student projects that I did was Pokemon for voiceover, because there's a lot of nerds in film school. And, and when they're freshmen, they have to do these just sound stories as like, baby steps, like work on the audio story first rather than like jumping straight into making a whole movie, live action. And so one of the students was doing a day in the life of Ash Ketchum, like a little audio drama thing, comedy technically. So I auditioned for that, and I got Jenny and Ash, and just had so much fun with that I was like, I want to do more Pokemon voices. This is so fun. So started uploading that, and
before the college project, were you already doing the impressions? Like,
I don't think so.
Really?
Not consciously. I think I have been doing Jigglypuff for forever. Like, I just have this memory of like,
I mean, who hasn't?
Exactly.
You have to sing the
It's a
song.
very accessible voice.
Yeah.
You can do the balloon in your throat. You can do it. I just have this memory of like hearing her Smash Bros. And like just doing that and being like, oh yeah, I'm like, that's exactly it. Yeah, heck yeah. But that's like the earliest thing I can never remember, just like parroting and being like, I did it.
Do you have a favorite impression that you do now?
Not
or
really.
just, no?
Yeah, it depends on the day.
I hear it.
Some of them are amazing. I watched you did the voices of the 90s and also the Pixar voices videos, and some of them are so spot on. It's crazy.
Thanks.
How much research goes into each voice? Like, are you listening back take after take to perfect it, or
typically I just play the clip and I say it and I say it and I say it and I play the clip and I say it and I say it and I say it, and then when I'm editing I just listen back and forth and pick the best one. And so either I can do it or I can't.
Yeah, because I mean, I think it was the Jessie from Toy Story one I saw, and I was like, that is insane.
Wow,
It's so good.
Thanks.
I think you do a great Alice in Wonderland too. It sounds just like her. Yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
Sounds great. the Alphabet Aerobics impressions rap,
yeah.
which was another one of the huge videos that you did.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that idea? And did you write that entire thing?
No,
Oh, okay.
I didn't write it. That's Blackalicious. It's an awesome rap. I wonder. I think the first time I heard it was probably when Dan Radcliffe did it on
like
Jimmy
Tonight Show,
Fallon.
yeah.
I think that's probably the first time I heard the song.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how I even came to the. I think I just really wanted to do a rap, maybe.
Did you memorize it, or were you?
Yeah,
did you have it on screen?
yeah. I had to memorize it.
Oh, very nice.
Was that all in one take?
Well, I recorded the audio first, and then I lip synced it after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I recorded all the voices.
Yeah.
Mostly separately.
Yeah, I mean, just in one shot, or I mean, I know you probably have to do them over and over, but like, was it just in one shot, or did you have to pause and then do them again?
I did multiple takes of each line and pick the best one.
Oh, I see.
Stitch them together.
Is it hard to jump from one voice to another?
Yeah.
Like you need
It can be, but I have done that live at a couple of different events. Like I can do it. It's just not going to be as good as when I do them separately and like listen back to the original voice and like pick the best take to make it the very best final product that I can.
Right on.
How long did it take to do the entire video? Do you know?
Probably a long time. I don't know. I don't know. Probably about a week. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. So and you do everything from your home. That's your home studio that you set up there. Wow. And you said that's in a closet of yours?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How long?
It's a nice big closet.
Yeah. How long did it take for you? You set up that studio on your own?
Yeah.
Wow. How long did that take?
I don't know. It depends, like when stuff comes in, you know. So you like order things on the internet; they come in at different times.
Yeah.
But maybe like a weekend or something.
Because I saw I saw your tutorial on setting up for voice work, which is it makes. I was telling you before we started here, our setup here, it's like about to throw all the shit in the trash after I watch that.
Well, it's working great.
I hope so. Yeah.
Except when I trip over the cord.
Exactly. Or when I forget to plug in the microphone.
Yeah, if the mics are plugged in.
That we've done that before. We had an interview and I forgot to plug in the microphone. So that's But how long did it?
Don't admit that.
How long did it take for you to like kind of get all your gear together? Was it over a course of like a certain amount of years, or? Well,
I already had like a passable home studio. Like I picked this apartment in 2014 because it had such a nice walk-in closet where I could like set up a little desk and have a little microphone and laptop and use a bunch of clothes as like noise dampening and put up foam on the back wall and stuff. So I had that. I had like very thin, cheap foam, whatever. I had like a passable microphone for like 6 years. And then pandemic happened and there was way more demand for home studio. So I was like, this is perfect opportunity to just upgrade absolutely everything and like make a video about it and just make that an excuse to like make it pretty and like be happy with it. Nice. So
Chad is aspiring voiceover.
Not as well ventured.
Yeah, but you've talked about setting up your closet.
Yeah, no, I recently got a lot of foam from Foam Factory, so I gotta start putting it up, and I'll have clothes in there as well because I don't have a dresser or anything like that. So I have all that extra, dampening, and then just in case, I was like, after all that's up, hopefully I don't need anything else. But I was thinking sound blankets if I do need it,
and then maybe a mic.
No, I
just have all this foam, and you're like, damn it.
No, I have a standing mic and the Scarlett there, the Focusrite.
What kind of mic is it? I don't know.
It came with the set on smart. What's it called? It starts with a Sweetwater things. Yeah, so it was like a $200 kit or something. It's very nice. Yeah. You know, I don't have the switchboard though. I
don't even know what that thing does.
No, I mean
it looks so intimidating.
Yeah, I don't know what any of this stuff.
He doesn't touch it after.
Like
I set all this up just by watching YouTube. And Watson helped me out with the soundboard because he does the soundboard in his work. Yeah. So he kind of helped me out. I don't know what the hell it does though. I don't know what it's doing right now.
Makes it sound sexy.
Yeah,
I guess so. It's failing terribly for me. So.
We got our bass all the way up on our voices, so it doesn't sound like 13-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, is it? do you think it's going to be near completion anytime? Or
yeah, I've just gotten complacent at my day job, so it's just been like, oh, I'm still getting money, so it's like I haven't been I haven't been pushing myself to finish it, but that is. I want to finish it before the end of this year, so it's up and running.
So if he doesn't, now we have we have it on tape now.
Yes, you can
all just
rub it in my
him
face
about it.
and beat me up.
We're gonna have that on a soundboard loop.
Hit me with water balloons.
There you go.
Like, dude,
a mid-year's resolution.
Yes,
that's right. Do people still ask you a lot about voiceover work and advice and?
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah. How do you is that kind of intimidating or daunting for you? Or?
No, I feel like I have so much knowledge on like how to become a voice actor, even though I feel like I'm barely starting to be a voice, like, I've never been in a cartoon, etc., etc. I feel like I'm just barely starting, but I feel like I also know everything about like how to become a voice actor, even though but I'm in like the weird position of like I got my agent through my YouTube sort of stuff, so it's not usually easy to get an agent. So I struggle on that. If people are like, how do you get an agent? I'm like, you get really good. You do a lot of acting and training. Eventually you make a demo when you're really ready and good. And then you send it to people. And hopefully, especially if you know anybody at that agency, then it'll really, really, really help your chances. But like, good luck. It's really hard. Yeah. But I'm like, go to www.iwanttobeavoiceactor.com by D. Bradley Baker. It's got everything you need to know. Or I like send them a link to like one of my many YouTube videos of how to be a voice actor.
You had something?
No, I was just wondering if you wanted to, like, has anyone approached you to be like a vocal coach or anything like that? Or?
Some people have been like, will you be my mentor, or like do you
all the
teach
YouTube
classes
babies out there
or something? I'm like, okay, now I don't feel qualified for that. Like I don't feel qualified to like take someone's money to like teach them things when I don't feel like I have the credits to like bolster. Like I could just parrot all the things that I've been taught. I know they're true, but I don't feel qualified to like be granting that knowledge with money.
Did you have a mentor? Like
not really. I have like Gray like helped me a lot. When I first moved here and like was very supportive and stuff, and now like Julie Nathanson, another actor, is like super, super helpful and wonderful. And I have voiceover coach Tony Gonzalez, who like helps a lot, but not really like a mentor.
Gotcha. And so what do you think are, if you don't mind me asking, what have been some of the biggest, I guess, roadblocks just in general with your career, or have there been any? I don't know.
Just the same as any actor, not booking as much as you'd want.
Did the pandemic shift a lot of that around to make it easier or more difficult? Or
I think it made it better. I don't know if I don't know if it was that it was a pandemic. It could have just been coincidence, timing. I think 2021 is when I started booking a lot more video games like God of War and Bayonetta and Fallout 76 and stuff.
Well, I think self-taping become more of a regular thing during that time. I mean, and stuff like Zoom and stuff like that coming up really kind of made it a lot easier than I got to make it to halfway, across the city by 3:00 for this audition.
Yeah, but even before that, like I think I had maybe 2 or 3 in-person voiceover auditions since 2014. Like it was very rare that I had to go in somewhere.
And moving out to LA was a primary motivation for that. That was your motivation for moving out here?
YouTube made it way easier and like way less scary because I like had friends here and I had a job and savings and stuff. So I was able to come out here and be like, I know that all the cartoons are out here and I know this is where I want to be, but conveniently this is also where most of the YouTubers are, so I can like film stuff with them and like be better at being a YouTuber. So it worked out very well. Because
your videos were started really taking off in 2012?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so you moved out here
2014.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of already had established.
Yeah.
All right. How was that? How was that transition?
Good.
Because you're from South Carolina?
Yeah. South Carolina to New York for school.
Oh, wow.
And then,
okay. Yeah. Oh, so you had a little bit of a cushion, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I spent some time in South Carolina, but it was a really bad part of South Carolina. I was in basic training there. I told you earlier. and it was just nothing but heat and woods and sand, and that's my. I know it's not what South Carolina is, but anytime I think of South Carolina, that's what I think of because that's all I saw.
I mean, it is just a lot of woods and heat.
Yeah, just miserable humidity.
Beware the ticks.
Yeah, a lot of ticks too. Yeah. So when you came out here, it was just basically you just kind of
it was just kind of YouTube friends kind of became more of a thing than college. You know, college is all like college friends.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, there's always some guy that does
You need to get you some foam.
I know. So, yeah, right.
So college was all like college friends and like mostly Quidditch friends because I was on the Quidditch team. And then moved to LA and it was all like YouTube friends that were mostly internet friends before, but now they're like real life friends. And then a lot of like, because I went to NYU, there was a lot of film students. A lot of those people ended up moving to film students and actors ended up moving to LA. So I also had college friends, and now like my college friends are friends with my YouTube friends, and it's lovely. Yeah. Everyone says that I'm like the middle of the Venn diagram. I like connected these two friend groups. That's now like one big friend group, and it's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised here, but I met a lot of people that moved out here for certain careers, and that's probably like the biggest struggle that they have is like establishing like a new social group.
Yeah, that's absolutely like the most important thing is like finding your people in LA, because otherwise it does suck if you don't have your people.
You don't have any support.
Yeah.
New York is like that too, because I spent like a week in New York once. I'd never been, so I went there, and I didn't know anybody. And after like 4 days of not talking to anybody, like literally not talking to anybody,
just buy around at the bar. Everybody.
Yeah, I know, right? I should. It cost me $1,000 there. Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, after like 4 days not talking to me, I was like, "Can please somebody just talk to me?" Because I was just
you should have came to New Jersey. That's where.
So actually, a friend of mine was in New Jersey. Ended up coming over, and so we hung out. So I was like, "Thank God, thank God, a human connection."
Hey.
Yeah. What's the do you prefer LA to any other city you've been in it? Is New York better? Or?
I love New York.
Yeah,
I was just back
place.
in New York for a wedding, college friend's wedding, and I do love it and I do miss it. I think as a city, I probably prefer New York. I love public transportation. I hate parking. I don't mind traffic actually if I'm prepared for it, but I hate parking. But I do love like the privacy of a car, so it's like but public transportation is so. I love how New York you kind of feel like you are part of something exciting, even if you're not doing anything. Just being in New York is very invigorating for me, and for a lot of people it makes them anxious. But for me it's like very invigorating and exciting. LA is way more isolating, way easier to like just fall into your bubble. Yeah, I love both. I love the people here and I love the industry here, but I love New York as a city. Sounds like that.
Did you get to drive across country as you?
Yeah, I drove South Carolina to here.
Wow.
Yeah,
that must have been an interesting trip. Seeing most of the country. Yeah,
a lot of Texas.
A lot of Texas. Yeah, I've driven to Atlanta before, and it was just like 3 days later, I was like, I'm still in Texas. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. But some of the best barbecue I ever had in my life. And so are you planning on staying here for good in LA? Or
Yeah. Do you think so? Because, I mean, voiceover, you pretty much go until you can't talk anymore. Like, if I don't have to retire, I don't want to, basically. So, yeah, I'll stay as long as I can be a voice actor.
That being said, I don't mean to bring it down, but with you mentioned AI in one of your videos. How do you think that's gonna?
I don't know. I really hope that legislation will come through that will help and will protect. And there is kind of a silver lining to it that like AI is very dangerous to politicians. Big time. So they're kind of motivated to work on legislation to. Or approve legislation to put regulations on it and restrictions that deal with consent and stuff, because otherwise you could put out a video of Joe Biden doing terrible things, no consequences. That's totally fake AI. So so I feel like there is hope on that front, but it is scary, but I feel like a lot of people do want the human experience and the human heart of the thing, and I feel like people are going to be able to tell the difference. If something is very straightforward, an audiobook I think stuff like audiobooks and background voices are going to be the first things to go.
Yeah.
Because audiobooks are just very, very straight, middle toned. But if you want emotion in anything, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah. I mean, you played a synthesized voice of yourself on one of your videos. It was AI.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think it sounded like you. I didn't think it did.
It sounded like me, just very flat.
Yeah, it's still very robotic. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's wild.
I get what you're saying, but I think
but that was also like a really
crappy one,
accessible version.
I don't know if because like you're saying, like the emotion behind it, I don't know if I think people will be able to tell. It'll be like that uncanny valley thing. You know, people will be like, this doesn't sound right. It sounds robotic.
But I get it. You need to put legislation down now.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, this is still early days of the technology.
Right.
And it's just going to get better and better. And,
I've seen some of those deep fake videos too. They're pretty scary.
It's wild.
Like, again, it's like there's something off with it, but it's like if you didn't know, it's just like, Barack Obama said that he's going to nuke all of California. You know, it's weird. Yeah.
Although I will say I do find those videos funny of Obama, Trump, and Biden like playing a game together.
Playing D&D. Yeah.
Those are funny. I was like, that's fine. Do that, but just don't.
The rule is it must be used only for comedy's sake.
Yeah, or something like that.
Exactly. For parody only. Yeah. And so are you still playing a lot of D&D?
Yeah. Technically less right now than I have in a very long time, because I only have one super consistent game right now.
Is it the Wild Space?
Is Cast Party.
Oh,
okay. It's a podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's been going for almost 3 years now, and we're probably close to the end of the year or beginning of next year, like wrapping up our first campaign.
Is it? It's been one continuous. Oh wow, that's been going on for 3 years.
Yeah, that's been my druid.
Wow, and that's been going for 3 years.
Yeah. And we were bragging about 6 hours.
6 hours. We did 6 hours. Man. Yeah, we're like, we're trying. Yeah,
she's like,
we're trying to strut over here.
Years.
Yeah, that's why she rolled her eyes when we said that. No wonder.
The game that I DM'd, the only game that I consistently DM'd, was 3.5, almost 4 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And what are those specifically, like fantasy games, or are they?
Yeah, so the one that I DM'd was Waterdeep Dragon Heist from Wizards of the Coast official D&D module, and then when they finished that, I transitioned them into Curse of Strahd, which is also a Wizards of the Coast
D&D
it's
all 5th
module.
edition.
Yeah, all 5th edition.
Wow, that's amazing.
But then Cast Party is like a homebrew thing from the DM.
And is that so? In your campaign, are you like taking pauses within the game, or it's just constantly just going?
The podcast we record every other weekend, pretty much, or more if we want to get really ahead of schedule, because it releases every other weekend, or every other week. So, yeah, pretty much every week divided by 2 for the last 3 years or so.
We wouldn't have lasted. Dan would have killed us.
At all. Yeah, no, we would have. Yeah.
And the one I was DMing was mostly every week. Things always got a little crazy around holidays, but mostly every week.
So as a DM, do you? What is your? I guess like I don't know. I don't know what DMs do. Is it strategy?
Process?
Yeah. Is it?
I was so bewildered by that when I like first played D&D. I was like, I don't understand. I do not comprehend how a DM could possibly prepare for this. Yeah. How do you prepare
every outcome?
Right. How do you do that? And the answer is you don't. You plan what you think is most likely and then just prepare to riff on whatever they do. So I don't know. I just come up with all what I think they will do and what they might do. And if they do something different, I just have to make it up.
Did someone come to you and was like, I think you'd be a great DM? Or was this just something like, I want to try it out?
It was kind of a mix. The game One Night Ultimate Werewolf or Werewolf in general, I really enjoyed running those games, being the moderate. Like, there's the game with the app where it like plays the audio, and then there's the game without the app where you need like a moderator, basically a dungeon master, like telling people, open your eyes, blah, blah, blah. Like, I like leading people through things and like giving them that little fun experience. It like makes me feel very important and helpful and like making people happy. So it's very rewarding for me. So I was like, I really like doing that. And not so different.
Right.
And I like doing voices and acting and blah, blah, blah. I just don't like writing. I hate writing. So as long as like someone else writes the story for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those modules, they're there to help support you as best they can.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the NPCs for your game that you ran, did you create voices for each of the...
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my players would tell you that they all have very different voices, and you go back to an NPC years later, it sounds exactly the same, and I'm like, you don't know that. You don't remember what it sounds like. Yeah. I just make it up again and hope that it's basically the same. I have no idea if it sounds the same, but basically most of the voices are improvised.
Yeah.
So it's like a first instinct thing. So if it's the same character, I will probably have the same first instinct if I go at it again.
Good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my theory, but I don't actually know what the result is.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't when our friend Tim did it, he was because we threw a couple things at him and he was like, okay. I mean, there definitely there's no way he saw it coming, but he was like right on top of it.
Yeah.
Like he pivoted immediately,
which
I found amazing, but he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
You know, so I could never do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to be a dungeon master. No way. I couldn't do it.
I try to just at least keep accents straight. And with like Curse of Strahd and stuff is very easy because it's like regional. I'm like, okay, this city is like Scottish accents. This city is like Romanian. This city is Southern American. Like it's very, when it's specific like that, then I just need little variations on each person in there.
Nice. And so would you still do any kind of actual acting if that came along?
On camera stuff? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want to waste my energy going into all the audition stuff.
Yeah.
But if it came to me, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I still love that.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to put all that time and energy into it when voiceover is now the dream.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
That's true. Well, you've been doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
You really have. Yeah, it's you have a great channel and you're doing a lot of good stuff and with Twitch and again, so it's just thank you so much for coming on. I mean,
thank you.
We've taken up a lot of your time and we really appreciate you coming on board and just, indulging us with our shitty little podcast here. and my terrible setup here. This is, gosh. But thank you again, truly, and we can't wait to see what else you come up with.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, please plug your socials.
Where they can find you.
I mean, you could listen to Cast Party, the D&D podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you look up Cast Party D&D. I'm sure it comes up on all the podcast things. Yeah, that's fun. And then I'm Brizzy Voices, BRIZZY on all the things. Cool. But especially Twitch. I'm trying to stream more, so follow me on Twitch.
Definitely. And Cast Party's done out of your play. You guys have studio?
The same.
Okay.
They all live in New York. And Boston.
Wow. So it's all okay.
I've only met them in person twice.
Oh, wow.
In the 3 years. I just recorded in that same studio that I record all my voiceover auditions.
Nice. Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Brizzy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And Chad will take us out here.
Yes.
Voiceover work.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. No pressure.
You've been listening to.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. As we always say, we follow, like, and all that jazz. But enter the Nerdom, exit the Brizzyverse.